So let's talk about the karma yoga first. What I've understood is action takes precedence over everything else. But is that the right interpretation?
What is karma yoga then? Focus not on the karma but on the karta, the doer. Know who you are. If you focus too much on the action, you will be deluded.
And that desire is not something that can be fulfilled by just achieving the next target.
Nishkam karma is not about not having desire. It's not about the action, it is about the actor. It is not about the desire, it is about the desirous entity. So all wisdom literature is about enabling you to see what? First of all, who you are.
Is there an internal motivation? Isn't everything external motivation?
Nishkam karma is motiveless action. What do I do? You are trying to motivate. Shri Krishna is saying motivation is nonsense.
Knowledge leads to action. The Jnana Yoga leads to Karma Yoga.
It's not that if you have the right knowledge, then you will do the right action. No, that's not the framework. Once you know who you are, you need not keep an eye on yourself. Now, this kind of freedom, as you hear of it, does it not terrify you?
It's scary.
It's scary. That quantum of freedom, that immensity of freedom, where even you do not know what you're going to do next. And that's the reason why the real thing could never become massy. That's why India, in spite of being the mother of these things, Indians could never partake the benefit.
I want to talk about the three main yogas in the Bhagavad Gita. So let's talk about the Karma Yoga first, which is, put it in a nutshell, what I've understood is action takes precedence over everything else. But is that the right interpretation?
See, as we were saying, Gita comes from the legacy of the Upanishads. In fact, very strictly speaking, the Upanishads are placed higher than the Gita. The Upanishads form part of what is called the Shruti literature, revealed literature, literature without an author, literature without a human author, Apaurushaya literature. So Upanishads come from there. Gita forms part of Smriti literature, where the scripture is the product of an author, a human author. It's a human creation. So the Gita forms part of Mahabharata, and Mahabharata is attributed to Vedvyas. So very, very strictly speaking, because Upanishads are Shruti and Gita is Smriti, the Upanishads are in some sense above the Bhagavad Gita. Though that is not practically how it is accepted, and it is also not useful to put it this way. But it's important to see that it's the message of the Upanishads that will reverberate through all the chapters of the Gita. It has to. The Upanishads are Gyan. What is Gyan? Gyan not in the sense of knowing about the world and this and that. Atma-Gyan, self-knowledge. So the core message of Gita too is self-knowledge. Arjun, please understand who you are. So what is Karma Yoga then? Focus not on the karma but on the karta, the doer. Know who you are. If you focus too much on the action, you will be deluded. Look at the actor. If the actor is right, you need not think about the action. The action will fall in place on its own. That's Karma Yoga. I like to put it this way. Chapter 2 comes before chapter 3. Chapter 3 is Karma Yoga, chapter 2 is Jnana Yoga.
Got it. Fair.
So, the best thing was served to Arjun first of all.
Jnana Yoga.
That's the Jnana Yoga. But Arjun was still reticent. Krishna, I have my doubts. In fact, at points, he is kind of accusing Krishna of misleading him. That's the extent. Attachment and delusion can delude you. So after Jnana Yoga, which is Sankhya Yoga, then there is Karma Sannyas, and all the things that follow. So karma, whenever Sri Krishna says karma, it's Nishkam karma. Whenever Sri Krishna says Jnana, it's Atma Jnana. So Karma Yoga is actually Nishkam Karma Yoga. Nishkam Karma means action that is not coming from a desirous self. Action that is not coming from a desirous actor. And if you do not know the actor will remain desirous, because we are born incomplete. Where there is incompletion, there is desire to be complete. If I do not know myself, I will remain incomplete, and therefore all my actions will be full of desire. Therefore, the only way karma can be nishkam is through Atmagyan. You cannot have nishkam karma without Atmagyan. Otherwise, your nishkam karma will be very superficial. On the surface, you might feel you are acting without desire, but there will be some lingering desire within that you might even not know of, because you don't know yourself.
And that desire is not something that can be fulfilled by just achieving the next target.
No, it never gets fulfilled.
It never gets fulfilled.
It can get fulfillment only through getting negated.
So today, in my heart, there are desires.
Yes.
There are things that I want to achieve in medicine, in social media, or whatever. Now, I cannot say that I will let go of these desires after I have achieved, say, 1 million on YouTube. There is nothing like that.
No. Nishkam karma is not about not having desires. Nishkam karma, I repeat, is about not having desires coming from a point of incompletion. It's about the actor, not about the action. It's about the desirous one, not about the desire. You can have desires.
I can have desires.
You can have desires, but your core must be desireless. Then your desire will not be for your personal self. Then your desire will actually be auspicious for the entire world. Nishkam karma is not about not having desire. Shri Krishna does not use prescriptive language. No, do not desire. Just go and fight. No, not that way. So we said it's not about the action, it is about the actor. It is not about the desire. It is about the desirous entity. So it is about the desirous entity. Nishkam karma means the one you who used to have desires has now known himself. And after you have known yourself, all the evil within is dropped, disappears, vaporizes. The only evil within is lack of self-knowledge. Once I know myself, I am clear about who I am. It's not as mundane as I am making it sound to be, but once you have known yourself, there is nothing called one knowing yourself. There is no end to it. But for the purpose of this conversation, I am putting it in simplistic terms. So once there is that, what could I call it? Purity within?
Clarity.
Or clarity within? Then in some sense you are entitled to desire. You are not even entitled to desire. You are obligated to desire. You are not even obligated to desire. You are free of all obligations. Now go ahead.
Right.
And just play.
For instance, if my identity is an F1 car driver, and through my identity is that, I will desire to win the race because that is my identity. But you're saying that I can do that as long as my core self is detached.
The entire wisdom literature is absolutely silent of what you can do, what you cannot do. It's totally silent on that. It's not prescriptive. It's not an instruction manual.
I feel we are at the crux of something here,
Yes.
because if you crack this,
Yes. So it's not about whether you can want that, whether you can achieve that, whether you should do this, whether you should do that. Is that allowed in your religion? No, we don't do these things. We are Jews, we are Christians, we are Buddhists or Hindus. No. That's not the way of wisdom. what you do, what you wear, what you eat, how you marry, whether you marry, we are not going to get into that. That's not the way of wisdom. We want to look at who we are. We want to look at who we are. And after that, whatever happens is auspicious. Fine. Who am I to tell you how to live? But yes, if you are struggling, I would probably come to you and throw some light on the way. You are struggling, you are stumbling, you are falling, you have hurt your knees. I would say, friend, here is a torch. There is some light, but you have to use your own eyes. And whether you want to use the torch is again your discretion. I'm not going to impose it on you. You have to do it yourself. So all wisdom literature is about enabling you to see what? First of all, who you are. You are. And what does that mean? Because if you repeat that phrase too often, it becomes very cliched, and who I am appears so mysterious, one gets lost in it. It's not about seeing who I am. It's about seeing who I am not and yet have become. I'm not this and yet I have become this.
Many times you find yourself in situations where you almost feel like you're acting.
You're acting because you have been trained to act.
Yes.
You have been conditioned to act.
कि ऐसे situation में मैं ये बोलूँगा, ये करना है.
ऐसे करना होता है. ऐसे करना होता है. Now that the fellow has arrived, you're supposed to smile and greet. Now the fellow says, "Oh, I lost my job." You're supposed to offer some kind of commiseration.
Correct.
So I'm not that, but something happened in the process of my journey through life, and I just got indoctrinated, conditioned to do that. So Gyan is about freedom from what you are not and yet have been forced to become. It is freedom from becoming. Becoming that came to you in the past and becoming that pulls you to the future. What does future mean to us? Becoming, right? I want to become such a thing in the future. And all this becoming associated with the future is actually a residue of the past.
Pushing you.
You cannot have desires for the future devoid of your experiences of the past.
Correct. If you remove everything that has happened to you till 1 minute ago,
yes,
what will you do?
There is no desire for the future then. You cannot have dreams and aspirations then. Right? So we remain entangled in all that, and the net result is suffering. So wisdom then, with the way Krishna is imparting it to Arjun, is about seeing what Arjun is not. Arjun, why are you behaving this way? You know where your action is coming from. Arjun, can you see where your action is coming from? Therefore, there is a tremendous lot of negativa the Gita deals in. Nirashi nirmamo bhav. Yuddhasva vigata jor. So, you look at the construction of the very word. Drop hope, nirashi bhav. Drop ownership, the sense of possession, nirmama bhav. You see how the very word is constructed?
Hope is towards the future, ownership is from the past.
Drop these things. Drop these things. In fact, the entire repository of words that you find in the Gita, they themselves tell you what Sri Krishna is attempting. He's saying, just drop it. Just drop it. Just drop it. And if you do not drop that, then you will drop the Gandiv. So pick up the Gandiv and drop the nonsense.
Right. Because when you think about motivation, why are we doing anything? We are most likely being either pushed by something in our past or pulled by something in our future. I am doing this hoping that something will come in the future, or I am doing this because I have committed to something.
Actually, there is not even an or in between. As you stand, there is the past that you think is behind you. And the future is but a mirror. What you look at as the future is nothing but a reflection of your past. Here I am, and there is a mirror there. And what I see in the mirror is stuff that is actually behind me. So there are no new dreams actually.
Right.
What we are dreaming of is actually just the stuff of the past repackaged.
Or it's things that you can see other people do.
Things that you have seen other people do.
Yes.
Again from the past. Again in the past.
Correct. Yes, because what can you dream of in the future that has not happened?
Can you think of anything that has not been in your experience so far?
No.
Even imagination is dependent on the repository of experiences.
So all hope and optimism is just projected past.
Projected past. And that's what the Gita is attempting to rid Arjuna of.
In psychology and even in neuroscience, when it comes to motivation, there are these terms called external motivation and internal motivation.
Yes.
So all external motivation is motivation influenced by things that have happened around us to us.
Right.
And internal motivation is one that comes from within. And there is a lot of discussion whether is there an internal motivation? Isn't everything external motivation?
In the world of Gita, first of all, the external and the internal motivations become one. Secondly, both become redundant. Krishna is not motivating Arjuna. Krishna is illuminating Arjuna. In fact, the very core of Gita is motiveless action.
They'll put all motivational speakers out of business.
Oh, they hate me. What do I do? Nishkam karma is motiveless action. What do I do? You are trying to motivate. Shri Krishna is saying motivation is nonsense. What do I do?
Knowledge leads to action. The Jnana Yoga leads to Karma Yoga. After that is renunciation.
Actually, no, it's not even that. Knowledge does not lead to action. Knowledge makes action superfluous. In knowledge, you cease to bother about action. It's not that if you have the right knowledge, then you will do the right action. No, that's not the framework. Once you know who you are, you need not keep an eye on yourself.
Because action still assumes will.
Now there is no will. There is just a certain very peaceful completion. And after that, you can allow yourself to just play and flow. That's Advaita Vedanta. Go play.
So if you gain the knowledge that you are water, you will flow. If you gain the knowledge that you are a rock, then you will.
And if you understand you are nobody, then there is no need to have prescriptive checks on yourself. Why else would you want to determine your action in advance? Why would you want to plan your action in advance? Only when, first of all, you have a model of things. To be free of ignorance is to be free of all models. Now you can act freely. Now you can act in ways that even you have not thought of. Now this kind of freedom, as you hear it, as you hear of it, does it not terrify you?
It's scary.
It's scary. That quantum of freedom, that immensity of freedom, where even you do not know what you're going to do next.
Yes.
It's horrible. And that's the reason why the real thing could never become massy. That's why India, in spite of being the mother of these things, Indians could never partake the benefit. At least not the bulk of Indians.
Because even when we talk of this freedom, we are talking of freedom from self. Because what we identify as self is that person who is acting. We still associate freedom with freedom of choice.
Freedom of choice.
And here you're saying that once you have that level of knowledge, there is no need for choice. There is no choice.
Because there is no chooser.
There is no chooser.
There is nobody to choose.
Correct. So in a way, that is death.
That's death. Wonderfully put. And that death is something that wisdom literature sings so beautifully and so just tugs at your heartstrings. If you hear the saints singing of death, that inner death, jis marani se jag dare mero man anand, kab mari ho, kab bhete ho, puran paramanand. He is saying, the world is afraid of death, and that's what gives me joy. I want to die. And of course, he's not talking of physical death. He's talking of the inner death, the mahamrityu. That must come to you before the body falls apart.
Ego death.
The ego death. And that's the purpose of life.